He's voiced heroes, villains, and everything in between. Now, voice actor Todd Haberkorn is lending his voice to those who can't speak for themselves, animals. Discover the Humane Beings, a nonprofit foundation making waves in animal welfare. Each month, join Todd and Doug for an inside look at the latest animal plans, organization updates, and how you can make a difference. Visit thehumanebeings.org to sign up for the THB newsletter and join the movement.
I think what's almost to me harder, Doug, is maintaining.
Yes.
So
100%.
To get to episode 7 to me that was the main boss. Starting is the mini boss, if we're talking video game terms. But yes, we're here.
I can't. Yeah. It's like New Year's Eve resolutions, right? Really easy to get those started. Hey, I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to stop drinking. And then by week 3, you're like, whoa, crap, I didn't do that, did I? But we have persevered.
Yeah.
To number 7.
We're still less than a year old. We're a 7-month-old little... Is that toddler? That's not toddler yet. That's still baby.
Oh, infant. Yeah, we're still
infancy. In case you're just tuning in and you've stumbled upon us, this is the podcast version of our newsletter. It covers the same info in a different way than the newsletter, and there's stuff in the newsletter that you won't hear in the podcast and vice versa. So we kind of went with the Walking Dead approach, where it's like you can watch the show, but it is a little different than the comics, and the comics are a little different than the show, so you kind of got to check out both.
We've kept our hands. Let's put it that way.
Yes, both.
Both hands.
Newsletter version has a couple of pictures from our adventures. It's got a little note from me to everybody out there that you'll see there. You won't hear it here. And here you get Doug, and you don't get Doug in the newsletter.
That's true.
Right there's a lot of flavors that you get from each. And the reason we do this is because sometimes people like to read their newsletter breakfast, and some people like to hear their newsletter breakfast. So we're trying to cover those bases.
And we appreciate all of you. Whichever way you're going to digest this, we appreciate you.
Yeah, and Doug is on the mic that I spent the most time with at Funimation. That model of mic is what we recorded everything on at Funimation for many, 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 many years.
You worked extra work to get this mic, because these things are not cheap.
Yeah. Well, luckily the studio at that time, or I guess eBay, because early Funimation was like they bought everything off eBay.
Really?
Yeah, very small operation.
Wow. You were there early.
I was there right after they switched from recording on deck tapes, when they switched to actual digital. We were auditioning One Piece for the original cast, and Japan had to approve the cast. And so it came down to Sonny and I for Usopp. And I was new. Sonny, of course, is already quite legendary by that time.
Yeah.
And I was just a new, a mere babe there. And so, but I remember the audition. But
here's your fun tidbit, folks. We went to Bat World. We've talked about this. But what you didn't get to see behind the scenes was Todd was home. He was home. So he was driving most of the time back and forth. And we've got the History of Todd grand tour of Dallas and the Dallas area. It was like every freeway was like, oh, I lived over there. I went to that gym. It was just this constant. It was great because he was just in this. You were in this little fun zone where all these memories were coming back, and you were just kind of giving us the tour of young Todd. It was really cool. We had a great time, and it was a fun tour.
That trip was a blast. And we found some amazing ice cream.
Yes, we did.
To top it off. Doug, begin this tour of our latest newsletter.
Well, I'd be happy to. I was lucky enough, actually 3 times lucky enough, to receive a hand-delivered hardback edition of Squirm's Big Day. You were kind enough to deliver those to me while we were in Texas, and couldn't have been happier to see that after all the talk and everything that going back and forth and the planning and the art and the printing and all of that, to hold it and to see it. God, it was so great. It was so much fun, and all of the hardback editions are out. They no longer exist. If you got one, great. You can't get one now. You can still get a softback one, though. You can get a soft cover, absolutely, but those hardcovers are gone. What an amazing thing to just hold and to see and to finally see that realization, that culmination of all that hard work, and it's just an amazing story. You guys are gonna love it.
Thank you for supporting that, because everyone that got a copy of Squirm's Big Day, all of that supports the Humane Beings, and you get to know Squirm, and you get to put them on your shelf. And if you have a copy that is at your doorstep right now, some of them were international. Take a picture, let us know, show it so we can.
Oh yeah, please share it. We've seen that. We've seen a couple of those.
Yeah, we've seen them in classrooms. We've seen them being read to kiddos at night before bed. So please keep it coming. As we finish out that adventure, so I've got to get the audiobook version done. And then
that one thing you do every day, right? the voice acting thing, you still gotta get that done.
Some people ordered the audiobook version. I want to make sure I get that done, but I want to make sure I can focus on it and knock that out and get some Squirm goodness out to you. And then we move on to book 2. So I will be working on book 2 with AJ, who is the illustrator. We'll start working on that probably at the end of summer. So audiobook folks that got it, you'll be getting that this summer, and then we'll start working on book 2 then. If you would like to get a Squirm's Big Day, a softback copy, a coloring book version, a shirt, a poster, all that, link is in the newsletter. All of that supports THB.
And thank you, everybody, for your patience. This is not something that's distributed through Amazon. This is not some big bookseller that's shoveling these out. Todd is taking every single one of these and taking the time to sign them and pack them in his living room and get them to the post office every day. So if you haven't seen yours yet, or if it took a little time, just remember that we're a small but mighty organization, and sometimes we just have to do things. Yeah, we got to do things a little grassroots. So thanks for your patience.
Now, the best feeling was loading up the trunk, like wall to wall with orders, because I like organization. They were all like well packaged and stickered. And this is a little nerdy aspect of it. Every package was weighed and labeled by hand on a scale and measured at like every single one of them. So it takes a minute.
It takes a minute or two. Thank you for all that hard work. I know everybody's loving it. So.
And you guys, you warmed up your eyes with Squirm's Big Day, and then your eyes are warmed up and ready to do some more reps. If you like to read, you can check out Voyager LA Magazine, which was kind enough to reach out and did a little expose on the Humane Beings. Very kind of them. Awesome folks over there. Got to chat with them a little bit and get the word out about just Haber adventures that I've been on in life, and then our little baby, our little Humane Beings baby, and getting the word out about that. It's raising awareness about our baby organization. And I think that's where it goes back to what we were saying earlier, where it's impressive when you can get beyond the just starting stage. I think everybody, we all like the new toy smell. And it's when we get beyond the new toy smell where you really start to see the muscle it takes to endure. And so that's what we're trying to do and that's why it was so great when Voyage LA Magazine came along and wanted to do an article, and we're wanting to do more of that, to get the word out on different podcasts and periodicals and websites and such, because all of this happens when we get the word out. The THB's gears can get the proper grease and nutrients that it needs to work through awareness, because we are a hub for awareness, which we'll dive into a little bit later in here just for that clarification. But one of the ways that we're trying to do it is we've got this new handy for us, because like I like to play video games and Mrs. H likes to play video games, and we don't have a ton of time, so we like to do it when we're traveling at 600 miles an hour, 20,000 feet in the air on a Nintendo Switch. So we've got a contest.
And interestingly enough,
yeah.
you didn't tell me how this happened, but you got your hands on one. Or will have your hands on one, or there's one on the way, or you've
already got it.
Oh, is it there?
Already got it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We have decided to, I don't know if incentivize is the right word, but maybe just reward, to say thank you to those who follow and those who may follow by giving away a Nintendo Switch 2. And we're gonna, when we hit the 1,000th follower on any of our platforms, we are going to pick a winner and give them a Switch 2 to say thank you for being part of this journey and thank you for working with us.
Yeah, and I think that where it comes from is, we talked about this internally a bit about what Doug just mentioned, this idea of this incentivizing to follow.
Right, yeah,
and
there's some behind the scenes poop here, right?
Yeah, it's like, in a way, we
don't want people joining and
Yes.
following us just for this. It's like, I'm going to follow because I win a Switch. Well, yeah, but we want you to be incentivized to check us out and stay for the journey, not just for the toy, not for the gadget.
Because we want you to stay because you like things that access animal superpowers, and you're an animal lover yourself, and we want all of those people. We want more people to shine their attention light on us, so that we can come together as one and make a bigger and bigger difference as much as we can. So, yeah. The key to unlocking the room that has the free Switch directly from Nintendo, so this wasn't through a third-party reseller, we got this directly from Nintendo, which is a little bit of a nerdy,
That's kind of
street
cool.
cred.
I mean, come on, yeah.
That will unlock us picking a winner and sending a Switch 2 to you.
Well,
So
I was thinking,
Yeah.
Mr. Todd, I wonder, we have some amazing ambassadors. We really, really do. And you and I haven't talked about this yet, so I'm surprising you on the stream, on the podcast with this here. I wonder, would you mind if I reached out to a couple ambassadors and maybe see if they might kick in some items too that we could give away?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Absolutely.
I know a couple of them pretty well, and I've maybe have hinted, and they've said, sure, absolutely, whatever you need. So I'm going to work on between now and the next newsletter, maybe getting a couple Funko Pops or a couple things from some of our other ambassadors to kind of, say thank you. Again, not trying to incentivize, not trying to say, hey, come win this, but we really just want to say thanks because it's such a new journey and we cannot do it without you at all, period, end of story. It's the listeners, it's our followers, it's them. So this is more of a, let's call it a celebration. Let's call it, we're going to celebrate 1,000. We're not going to incentivize. We're going to celebrate. And
I think that'll be really cool. I that's awesome. And again, that's another thing that we'll touch on in our podcast journey here. But you raise a good point in terms of what we're about, because I think with one thing that I don't know if we haven't talked about really is the Humane Beings function is so. It's different. It's different. It is a unique approach to animal welfare, I feel like. Because a lot of times, as we have talked about before, is that, when people begin this journey, they usually get their own shelter or sanctuary. And so we decided to go a different route. And so what that question that gets raised maybe in your mind is, okay, well, why not donate directly to the shelter in question? And my response to that would be, absolutely you can. You can totally do that because that's great. Shelters need funding. All shelters
need the help,
all the help they can get. I guess where we come in and where we take the reins and take that a step further, and why I would say, if you're looking for incentive to go through the Humane Beings instead, there are a couple of reasons for that. And I think it's important to notate that because that might not be readily apparent to you just upon, first checking out the Humane Beings. And one of the big ones is a lot of times people don't know what a good shelter is or what a bad shelter is. They assume all shelters are coming from an altruistic place. All shelters are doing their very best to take care of all the animals that they have, and that's unfortunately not always the case.
It is not always true. Yeah.
In fact, one of the first things that Courtney, who was part of THB, she works at a animal rescue, and she's been in animal rescue, that line of work, for 15 plus years. She absolutely said, oh yeah, we have a list of the bad ones and we have a list of the good ones. And that was eye-opening for me. And so that's
heartbreaking. It's
Yes,
eye-opening
it is.
and heartbreaking
Yes,
at
it
the same
is.
time. Yeah.
And so we take that guesswork out of that equation for you, and we only work with vetted organizations. We're sort of like a animal welfare travel agent for funds.
There you go, yeah.
We're the Priceline.com for funds in a way, I guess, but we don't have a William Shatner mascot yet.
Yet. We'll get there.
The other thing is that I feel like one superpower that we have is more of your funds go to the actual cause because our overhead isn't tied up in as much of the day-to-day that a normal shelter has. So a regular rescue will have a building, they'll have liability insurance, they'll have utilities, they'll have a staff, etc. And we have overhead. Absolutely we have overhead because that's just the reality of having an organization. But I would say that our overhead there's probably a stronger percentage of the funds up on a per dollar basis goes towards the rescues. And so
we don't have salaries. We talked about it before, that we're an all volunteer organization. And we are all giving our time.
Yes. And the reality of that situation is that, eventually I would love to get to a point where we can take care of people and respect their time by compensating them as best we can while still going after our mission. I think that's human, that's fair for people's time. That's another reason. I think another great reason to donate through THB is the fact that when you donate to a shelter, it goes to that one shelter. When you go through THB, it reaches a lot of different organizations, a lot of different sanctuaries versus just one. I mean, in just the 7 months that we've been around, we've helped almost 10 different rescues. As one unit that has helped 10 different rescues. We've gone to 3, and then we've helped some around Christmas with donations around Christmas, and then the big LA fires at the beginning of the year. That's another reason that I think is important to highlight. And then the last one that I think is not readily apparent off the top is that I feel like we're able to reach a different audience than most rescues because of the route that we go through my line of work in the entertainment world. I'm able to interface with people that are animal lovers but are maybe not tuned into the pulse of animal rescue. And so animal rescues and organizations like that will be able to reach out to other audience members that are tuned into animal rescue already. But I think one of the nice benefits of what merging these worlds is that I get to talk to fans of pop culture and fans of video games and anime and cartoons that have good empathetic hearts, but animal welfare might not have been on their radar at the time, but it's closely aligned with the fact that they already are caring people, and then boom, we've just discovered people that are open to being in the world of animal rescue.
And it's happening, at the cons you go to, and meeting these people in line and in panels and all that. The awareness is getting out there. They're starting to learn, and it's been great to see them come through. We've talked about our brand ambassadors and all the good work they're doing. And if you didn't know, if you haven't been listening, it's your first time, we do have limited edition prints that we made for the brand ambassadors that they have at their tables at the cons. And they're cute, and they're limited, and they're amazing.
All con
people are snatching them out.
Yep.
Yeah, con exclusive. And people are snatching them up. It's been great to see. We've got some brand ambassadors that have just stepped up. Jeremy Lee, Calais Bear, Eric Vale, Greg Chun, Dante Basco, who half of these folks I just saw like last weekend at a con, and get to see some more this coming weekend at a con. They've gone above and beyond just having these out and raising awareness, helping us find those people that Todd just talked about that are empathetic and loving and care about animals, but maybe didn't know that there was an avenue for them to help. And now they get to meet all these amazing people and have some place that they can go to with us to see all these amazing places we visit and we donate to, and they can grow and learn and be a humane being with us.
And our THB cinematographer took the picture that you will find for Miss Erica Lindbeck. So if you find, Erica Lindbeck's voice, she's Captain Marvel herself. She's got a brand new print that you will see on the con scene, and you get an exclusive print, and those funds help THB. So check that out, because I'm really proud of our cinematographer for knocking that out. He's a great photographer. But so there's a lot of different avenues that we're exploring to get the word out, and we can always use, as we talked about in our last podcast, we could always use those extra eyes and those extra hands and those extra thumbs, retweeting and sending it to friends, sending it to folks you like, letting them know about us, getting them on board with us, because it really is a group effort, as we've said from the beginning. All of this is possible because of your involvement with us. And
I just chastised a coworker today. I mean, reminded them to follow us on all the socials because they said they would, and we were busy at the time. I'm not, I wasn't really mean. I was like, hey, have you seen our latest post? And she looked at me, she went, oh. I said, you didn't follow us, did you? She took her phone right out, and she was right there, and we got another follower today. So
you don't want to be on the disappointed end of a Marine.
Don't do it.
You don't want that. Doug is our THB Roy Kent for you, Ted Lasso.
Oh, Roy Kent is my spirit animal. Are you kidding me? Oh, my wife and I. So we
Follow
were late.
THB. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the wife and I were a little late to the show, and so we binged it not too long ago. And man, the first time I met Roy Kent, I kicked myself. I was like, I could have had him in my life so much earlier. Yeah. I love that character.
We just started season 3 tonight.
Oh, then I won't say a word. But we do have some amazing donors.
Yeah.
That you were just alluding to.
Yes, and Doug. Doug's great at these because Doug was he was a linguist man.
I was
back in the day, so he tackles these donors with the goodness, with the quickness.
That's awful nice of you. Oh, you're making me choke up here. Yeah, I was a Russian linguist, and none of these names are Russian, so I'm going to give it my best shot. So our Wise Owl donors from $50 to $100. Thank you so much to Courtney, our very own Courtney Church, Lee Vang, Angelina DeNigro, John Rogers, Angelica Wells, Joseph Nelson, Elizabeth Wilson, Angelina Buckmaster, Moses Davia, and Michael Rosales. Thank you for being donors. We appreciate you. And then, of course, we have our loyal Lions with the likes of, Kyle Abear, for example, Jeremy Lee, Dante Bosco, Eric Vale, and Nicole Grinnells. And I hope I got that name right. Grinnells?
I would say that was pretty good. You had some tough ones in there. Davila, that was tough. Grinnells is hard.
Davila, yeah. Boy, if I butchered that, hey, you have every right to get on our socials, follow us, and chastise me.
Yeah.
I will make that correction next time we do this.
We'll take it.
If that's the case, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, see, Doug still got it. Still got that linguist DNA. And then we've got our Just for Fun section that you'll see links to in the newsletter, but next month Doug and I I'm gonna bug Doug for his
I'd be happy to. Yeah,
next month. This month, so this is random stuff, kind of THB related because it's random stuff from Todd Habercorn. My favorite piece of content for the month is by a YouTube content creator named Ryu Camp. I don't know how I stumbled upon this, but he is a guy that just goes camping with his dog, and he says not a single word. And these videos are sometimes 45 minutes to an hour long. And he is a cinematographer. He is a filmmaker. When you watch him, it's just him camping. And you watch him go from driving up to the campsite, pulling out all the gear, setting up the gear, cooking his dinner. Like it sounds like, why would you watch that? Check that out. The link is in the newsletter. And I feel like you'll understand where I'm coming from. Brand of the month, love me some Marine Layer. Marine Layer is a California company. They do a recycling clothing thing. They sell new clothes, but they also do a respun thing. They also they have a lot of sustainable practices they engage in. Marine Layer, I have a lot of their clothes. Check them out. And they're stylish. They're like a retro. If you've seen me at a convention, that vibe is the Marine Layer vibe.
Okay, 'cause I was going to ask retro these days. What does that mean anymore for us? Because
that's true.
retro for us would be 80s, maybe 90s, but retro for some of our other listeners might be 2000s, 2010s.
Nickelback.
Who knows? Okay.
Nickelback is classic oldies now.
Yeah,
Favorite
right.
meal was at a restaurant in Detroit recently, at a restaurant called She-Wolf. I'll have to say, that restaurant, if you are in the Detroit area, head out there. They make frickin' sourdough pasta. Sourdough pasta. That's all I'm going to say.
Sourdough pasta.
Favorite song of the
All right.
week? There's no link because it's a song that I made up for our cute puppy called Juniper. And it is the Juniper Habercorn Tummy Song. And that's my favorite song of the week.
And it goes a little something like this.
So where it comes from is we want Juniper to be comfy with being, at the vet and getting poked and prodded and examined. So we're like, okay, let's get her comfortable with that. So we're touching her little paws and her ears. And so the song it covers the whole range of Juniper. She's a golden retriever. She's almost 4 months old. And what you do is you get her on her back and you start rubbing her tummy and you go, this tummy, this tummy, this tummy, tummy, tummy. Then you move to her little paws, these patas, these patas, these patas, patas, patas. Then you grab her little ears and you go, these floppies, these floppies, these floppies, floppies, floppies. And then you grab her little drumsticks and you go, this carne, this carne, this carne, carne, carne. And then you do that song twice a day. And then when she goes to the vet, she loves the vet. And then she's fine getting examined by the doctor.
We have got to diagram all of those cool, cute names you have for the doggy body parts that you just said, because that was awesome.
So
we'll have to put a little chart together that has all of your alternate names for all the little different body parts.
And then we're
great.
trying to get better about brush. Like we practice with like the little like rubber finger toothbrush. So we're trying to brush her little fangs, and we're adding to the song soon because we're having to brush her teeth. So we're gonna add like these piggies, these piggies, these piggies, piggies, piggies for a little snout because it's getting really long, and she's growing up. Our little girl's growing up.
So before you go, something fun you told me we actually got to see each other at a con.
Yes.
Recently, which doesn't happen often.
And we
It
walked
was
over
so
to
much
a
fun.
restaurant that wanted to eat. You have us eat so late.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It was the next day almost, wasn't it? But
You guys got a picture. We were at a con all day, and Mrs. H and I are really bad about taking breaks to go eat. So our lunch, essentially, this night, Doug and I are talking about, our lunch was like 10 p.m. So don't be like us. But
Yeah,
that
don't do
was
that.
that night.
that's a bad time to be doing that.
Yeah.
But you imparted a story about, was it the 9:30 Zoomies? What? There's a consistent time every night that Junie just loses her little mind and does her Zoomie things.
Yes, Junie. So Junie gets the Junies.
And that's what it's called, the Junies.
The Junies. She gets the Junies. And in fact, it's about time for the Junies right now, actually. I'm going to go see what's being destroyed. Yeah, because our cabinet is definitely not. One of our cabinets is, we're going to,
Not gonna survive.
R.I.P.
Oh,
But, yeah. But she gets the Junies every night. Just at night. She gets a, like, semi-Junie, like, antipasti Junie, like, in the day, but the Junies, like, capital J, nighttime, like right now.
it's the thing right now. Awesome.
All right, y'all. Check in. Tune us in. Follow. Spread the word. We'll be back for episode 8 next month.
Yeah, we'll be back. Thank you, everyone, for your time, for your attention, for your eyeballs, and for your heart. We appreciate you.
Want to continue the adventure? Head to thehumanebeings.org and explore ways to get involved. Follow us on our socials for heartwarming stories and updates. Ready to make a real difference? Volunteer your time, donate to the cause, or even spread the word to animal-loving friends and businesses. Every action, big or small, makes an impact for these animals. Their hope is in our hands.